Welcome to the podcast, where a passion meets purpose and limits are challenged. I'm your host, Eleonora Gendelman. Let's start bending reality. The universe doesn't make mistakes. Your presence here listening to this episode is perfectly timed. There is a precise reason why this message has found you at this particular point in your life. Most would call it coincidence, but coincidences do not exist. What's happening is recognition, a moment when your consciousness aligns with exactly what you need to hear. Every single moment of your life has led you to this point. Every choice, every thought, every emotion has created a path that brings you right here, right now. And if you're ready, truly ready, this moment could be the turning point that changes everything. Most people spend their entire lives waiting for the right moment. They are waiting for conditions to be perfect. They are waiting until they have more time, more money, more support. They are waiting for some external circumstance to change before they feel empowered to transform their lives. But here's the truth. This moment right now is always the right moment. This present moment is where all your power exists. Think about it. The past exists only in your memory. The future exists only in your imagination. The only place where you can actually take action, where you can actually create change, is right here, right now, in this present moment. When you fully understand this concept, when you truly get it, everything shifts. You stop being a victim of circumstances and start becoming the creator of your life. You stop reacting to the world around you and start choosing how you want to respond. You stop living on autopilot and start living with intention. Look at your life right now. Look at the patterns you've been living. Most people get up at the same time every day, follow the same morning routine, take the same route to work, interact with the same people, have the same thoughts, experience the same emotions, and go to bed at night only to repeat the entire cycle again the next day. They are stuck in a loop and they do not even realize it. These patterns become so automatic that we no longer question them. We just follow them blindly day after day, year after year, and then we wonder why nothing ever changes in our lives. We wonder why we keep experiencing the same problems, the same limitations, the same frustrations. But here's what's important. Understand these patterns aren't who you are. They are just habits you have developed over time. They are neural pathways in your mind that have become well-traveled through repetition, and just like any habit, they can be changed. Just like any path, they can be redirected. I am noticing even more and more in my life how many parts of me and my identity are just habits. The natural state of me that I think is my natural state is just a habit. The emotions, the cravings, the urges, the limitations, it's just a habit. And I have all the power to change it and create new habits, new thoughts, new emotions, new results, new personality, new identity, and a new life. Breaking these patterns requires awareness. It requires catching yourself in the act of being your old self and making a different choice. It requires being present enough to notice when you are slipping into automatic behavior and conscious enough to choose something different. This isn't easy. When you try to break a pattern that has been established for years, everything in your body and mind will resist. Your body has become addicted to certain emotional patterns. When you try to change these patterns, it feels uncomfortable, it feels unfamiliar, it feels wrong. But this discomfort is exactly what growth feels like. The unfamiliarity is what transformation feels like. This wrong feeling is what creating a new reality feels like. And if you can push through this initial resistance, incredible things start to happen. There was a point where I was not in the most positive state and time in my life. The state I, of course, created myself. Back then, I was just being a victim of my own creation. Nevertheless, lying in my bath, I noticed the cycle of negative thoughts. Negative thoughts create negative feelings, which create even more negative thoughts. Energy flows where focus goes. Until I noticed that, and I decided that that's it. That's it. No more I will entertain negative thoughts. No more external circumstances can bring me off center. No more I will go back into the dark hole. No more. I will do anything I can to stay elevated, to stay in a high vibe. No more I will be a victim of my own creation. And if it feels uncomfortable for people around me, I will not dim my light to make them comfortable. Feeling amazing, feeling elevated, full of energy and delusion feels fucking amazing. And this is my natural state. This is my natural state. Since then, every time I noticed my brain wanting to be negative, I reminded myself, oh no, I am not entertaining this thought. No more. The awareness and the shift became quicker. That is the power we have. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. And emotions are energy in motion. I noticed more victim mentality thinking in my life as well. Even if I thought that I'm quite powerful and take responsibility for everything that happens, which I realized wasn't the case. So I decided no more victim mentality, no more doubt, no more guilt, no more insecurities. Abundance, miracles, synchronicities, opportunities. This is just my natural state. It is my natural state. It is my natural state. If we shed away all the conditioning and limitations and all the things we think we need, and we become who we truly are, we become so aligned with our true self, we live our fullest potential, then we align with the universal plan and we become super attractors, which means we attract things we want just by being who we are, not by chasing, not by doing, just by being. Joy, love, peace, freedom. This is our natural state. Society has conditioned us to believe that we should struggle until we get somewhere, until we achieve something, until we become someone. It has conditioned us to believe that we live in lack until we buy all the things that are on TV and billboards and stores. No, abundance is our natural state. Abundance is our natural state if we let go of all the conditioning and all the brainwashing. And I also realized just today that abundance has the word dance in it, which means we are supposed to dance and be joyful and celebrate. And if we celebrate life, life will celebrate us back. The universe doesn't want us to be miserable and struggle and survive. Fuck no! The universe wants us to do what we love, to enjoy life, to be in love. And then miracles and good things happen. Did you notice that? When you are in a super high vibe mood, this is when everything flows. This is when everything just happens. So let's stay elevated. Or how I say, let's stay elevated. So now the how. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful. They are not just abstract concepts floating around in your mind. They are electrochemical events that have tangible effects on your body, your emotions, and even the world around you. Every thought you think sends signals throughout your body. These signals influence which genes get expressed and which stay dormant. They determine which hormones get released into your bloodstream. They affect your heart rate, your breathing, your immune function, and countless other physiological processes. But that is just the beginning. Your thoughts also create your perceptions. They filter the enormous amount of sensory information coming into your nervous system and determine what you notice and what you ignore. They shape how you interpret events, how you respond to situations, and how you interact with others. In a very real sense, your thoughts are creating your reality, not just your internal reality, but your external reality as well. Because how you think determines how you feel. How you feel determines how you act, and how you act determines what you experience in the physical world. This is why it's so important to become aware of your thoughts. Most people think the same thoughts day after day, most of which are negative, limiting, or based on past experiences. They are constantly telling themselves why they can't do, why they don't deserve, what's not possible for them. And then they wonder why their lives never change. But what if you could change your thoughts? What if you could consciously choose empowering thoughts instead of limiting ones? What if you could focus on possibility instead of limitation, abundance instead of scarcity, love instead of fear? And yes, you can. I tried it. It works. Your body and mind are not separate entities. They are part of one integrated system, constantly communicating with each other through an intricate network of neural pathways, hormones, and other biochemical messengers. Every thought you think affects your body, and every sensation in your body affects your thoughts. This bidirectional communication happens continuously, often below the level of conscious awareness. When you think a stressful thought, your body responds by releasing stress hormones like cortisol and adrenaline. Your muscles tense, your breathing becomes shallow, your heart rate increases, and your digestive system slows down. Your entire physiology shifts into a state of fight and flight, even if there is no actual danger present. On the other hand, when you think a peaceful thought, your body responds by releasing feel-good chemicals like serotonin, dopamine, and oxytocin. Your muscles relax, your breathing deepens, your heart rate normalizes, and your digestive system functions optimally. Your entire physiology shifts into a state of rest and digest, which is where healing and regeneration happen. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. This communication goes both ways. Not only do your thoughts affect your body, but your body also affects your thoughts. When your body is in a stress state, you are more likely to have anxious, fearful thoughts. When your body is in a relaxed state, you are more likely to have calm, creative thoughts. This creates a feedback loop that can either work for you or against you. If you are constantly thinking stressful thoughts, your body stays in a state of chronic stress, which then reinforces more stressful thoughts, creating a downward spiral. But if you can break this cycle by changing either your thoughts or your physiology state, you can create an upward spiral instead. This is why practices like meditation, breathwork, and physical exercise can be so powerful. They directly change your physiological state, which then changes your mental state. By working with both your mind and your body at the same time, you can create change much more quickly and effectively than by working with either one alone. Most people live based on past conditioning. Our beliefs about ourselves, others, and the world, they all were formed early in life, often before we had the cognitive ability to question or evaluate them. These beliefs became the foundation for our personality, our emotional reactions, and our behavioral patterns. The problem is that many of these beliefs are limiting. They are based on misunderstandings, misinterpretations, or outdated information. They might have served us at one point in our lives, but they are no longer useful or relevant, yet we continue to live as if they are absolute truths, never questioning their validity or considering alternatives. For example, maybe you learned early in life that failing is bad. This might have been true maybe in your family, where perfection was demanded and errors were punished. But is it actually true? If you haven't examined this belief, you might still be living as if it were true. You might be avoiding challenges, playing it safe, and denying yourself opportunities for growth and learning, all because of a belief that was installed in your mind decades ago. Transformation often begins with a decision, a clear choice to no longer accept the current reality as fixed or permanent. Second, consistent practice is essential. You need to maintain your new thoughts and elevated emotions daily, regardless of external circumstances. Third, patience is required. Meaningful change never happens overnight. But with persistence, it inevitably happens. The power to change your life exists within you right now. You don't need special resources, connections, or abilities. You just need awareness, intention, and the willingness to practice consistently. Consistency is the key to transformation. It's not what you do occasionally that shapes your life, but what you do consistently. Many people get excited about these concepts, practice them intensely for a few days or weeks, and then abandon them when they don't see immediate results. Like meditation. Oh, it doesn't work for me. Well, have you practiced long enough? Probably not. They miss the power of compound effect, the way small, consistent actions accumulate over time to create massive changes. Remember, transformation is not linear. It doesn't occur in a steady, predictable progression. As you persist in this work, you'll begin to notice subtle signs of transformation. These signs might be easy to miss if you're only looking for dramatic external changes, but they are important indicators that your practice is working, that you're moving in the right direction, that your new reality is beginning to take form. One of the first signs is increased awareness. You'll start noticing your thoughts and emotions more clearly. You'll catch yourself in the act of engaging in old patterns. You'll become more conscious of the gap between stimulus and response, between what happens and how you choose to react. This awareness is the foundation of all change, the essential first step in breaking free from automatic patterns. Another sign is emotional shifts. You might notice that you're less reactive to situations that used to trigger you. You might find yourself experiencing more moments of peace, joy, or gratitude without any external cause. You might observe that your emotional baseline is gradually rising, that your default state is becoming more positive and empowered. You may also notice changes in your thought patterns. Thoughts that used to dominate your mental landscape might become less frequent or less intense. New thoughts might arise spontaneously, thoughts that align with your vision rather than with your past. Your self-talk might become more supportive and empowering with less criticism and judgment. Physical changes often accompany mental and emotional transformation. You might notice improvements in your energy level, sleep quality, or overall health. You might observe changes in your posture, facial expression, or the way you move. Your body is always reflecting your inner state. So, as your thoughts and emotions change, your physical experience naturally follows. Relationship dynamics frequently shift during transformation as well. You might notice that you are attracting different types of people into your life, or that your existing relationships are evolving in positive ways. You might find yourself responding differently to others, setting healthier boundaries, or experiencing more authentic connections. Synchronicities and coincidences often increase as you align with your new reality. You might notice that the right opportunities, resources, or people show up at just the right time. You might experience a sense of flow where things unfold more effortlessly and with less struggle. These synchronicities are signs that you are in alignment with a greater field of possibility. Perhaps, most importantly, you'll notice a shift in your identity, in how you perceive yourself and your place in the world. You'll begin to embody the qualities and characteristics of the person you are becoming, rather than remaining defined by who you have been. This identity shift is both the result of transformation and the catalyst for further change. As you notice these signs, acknowledge and appreciate them. Do not dismiss them as insignificant or coincidental. Instead, recognize them as evidence that your practice is working, that your reality is changing, that you are becoming the creator of your life rather than a victim of circumstances. You are not a finished product. You are not defined by your past. You are not limited by your current circumstances. You are a being of infinite potential, capable of creating a life beyond anything you have previously experienced. This moment right now contains all the power you need to begin that creation. You don't need to wait for the right conditions, the right resources, or the right support. You don't need permission from anyone else. You don't need to overcome all your limitations or heal all your wounds before you start. You can begin exactly where you are with what you have in this present moment. The journey of transformation isn't always easy. There will be challenges, setbacks, and moments of doubt. There will be times when your old patterns resurface, when your elevated emotions seem out of reach, when your vision feels impossible. These moments do not mean you are failing. They are simply opportunities to practice, to recommit, to choose again, to become better at it, and to strengthen your faith in the process. Remember that transformation is a process, not an event. It unfolds over time through consistent practice and persistent effort. Every thought you change, every elevated emotion you generate, every conscious action you take is a step on this journey. No step is too small to matter. No effort is wasted. Everything counts. You are listening to this podcast at exactly the right moment because you are ready. Something within you has awakened, has recognized the truth of who you are and what you are capable of creating. That recognition is not random or accidental. It's a sign that you've reached a turning point, a moment of potential transformation. The question now is, what will you do with this moment? Will you dismiss these ideas as interesting but impractical? Will you agree intellectually but fail to put them into practice? Or will you make a decision right now to become the conscious creator of your life, to align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the future you desire, to persist through challenges until that future becomes your present reality? The choice is yours. Always has been, always will be. And in that choice lies your greatest power. The power to transform not just your life, but your very self. The power to become someone you have never been before, to experience what you have never experienced before, to create what you have never created before. This is your moment. This is your opportunity. This is your time to step into the fullness of who you truly are. The universe is waiting for your decision. What will you choose? I have created an Instagram account dedicated to providing you with daily coaching videos to shift your energy into elevated states in 2 minutes. Follow at elevert.coaching. As always, with all the tools we already have within. And if you are working on inversions and handstands and want to add a little bit of play into your life, follow elevert.method for daily actionable steps. In the next episode, you will find a high vibe morning meditation. Start tomorrow morning. Decide right now. And stick every day for at least 21 days. I promise this will create miracles. I also accept one-on-one coaching requests. Send your applications via the link in show notes. Let's stay elevated. Let's get elevated. If you found this episode valuable, please rate, review, and share with someone who would benefit as well. Thank you for choosing yourself, doing the work, and creating change. Keep living with purpose.